Right. Happy Cross River Gorilla Day, everybody. It's a very exciting day. We're going to talk about Cross River gorillas. They're a fascinating uh, subset of gorillas that don't get spoken about very often, but are super important for a multiple of reasons. One of them, unfortunately, is that they are a cautionary tale about extinction. So I'm glad everybody's joining today. Thank you guys for coming in. It is Cross River Gorilla Day. Now, this is the day we think about the gorilla that there is less than 300 left, which is crazy. So Cross River gorillas have quite an interesting difference. Now, I wanted to just explain a little bit about what's going on, who they are, where they come from, how they're doing, and all that good stuff. So to begin with, the Cross River gorilla is critically endangered. There are less than 300. The numbers change. They say I've read anywhere from 50 to about 150 to maybe 250 left. Now they are a subspecies of the Western gorilla. So there are a few different gorillas that are out there, and this one is critically endangered. I mean, there's just so few left, and that is an unheard of number. Now, with 300, I'm really curious if everybody thinks that there is a potential that they can come back from extinction. And this is something we wanted to talk today about is, the danger of our casual relationship with extinction. Humans have this old way of being, almost like this medieval context of, things have to be so bad before we pay attention to them. And even then, we barely pay attention to them. We let animals reach this level, and then we go, oh no, sound the alarm, they're going extinct. But is it too late? Have we already blown our chance to save them? This is the question, and we have seen this example recently with the vaquita down in Mexico. I'm not sure if there's any left. There's like 6 or 7 left, something like that. And finally scientists are like, gosh, I don't think they're going to come back. Well, I'm not a scientist, but I could have told you that when their numbers were only left in the thousands. Human consumption and human need overriding animal environment is a problem we're facing around the world, and we're hitting a critical mass where we're going past the point of no return. We're losing not only our resources and turning them into human resource needs, but we are losing our biodiversity, which is going to unravel the environment as we know it, little by little. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about Cross River gorillas, because today we want to talk about a species that is super shy. So, okay, there's Eastern and there are Western gorillas in Africa. And underneath of the Western gorillas, you have a few different subsets. And one of them is this Cross River gorilla. The other is Western lowland gorilla, like Harambe. So these guys are a little bit teenier. It's pretty cute. Their average size is between 5'5" to about 5'9" for the males. So they are smaller. Now that creates a lot of pluses for them, but also a lot of negatives, as we're about to talk about a little bit. Now they're very, very secretive. As a matter of fact, for a long time have managed to avoid human contact. They were only discovered in 1904, and they didn't even start surveying them, and scientists didn't take attention to them until 1987. And amazingly enough, there was no video of them ever captured till 2009. Sadly, though, although scientists and conservationists were not paying attention, they were being slaughtered and their entire population decimated because of where they live and why and who they are. We'll talk a little bit about that. So why are they called Cross River gorillas? Well, they are in the Cross River Basin, which is between Nigeria and Cameroon. And it's the border, and the basin is right there. And they live in this super dense forest. Now, that is one of the reasons why they've been hidden from certain people like us, but known to other people like loggers and mining exploration, oil exploration, other areas where they go into the woods and then will kill whatever's there, very often for bushmeat. Now, there's a combination between illegal logging and bushmeat. They're not mutually exclusive. I've seen firsthand where illegal logging camps, they work their way in. I mean, they got to go really far. They're not working right off the highway. So if you think about it, these illegal loggers sometimes will go up to 10 kilometers off the beaten path. And when they get out there, they have no food and they will kill and eat anything. And I have seen it with a lot of different species that are actually endangered, but they don't care. What they encounter in these really rare pieces of nature is what they eat and kill. So these rare pieces of nature are what must be protected. Now, this is where the hope spot comes in, because cross river gorillas are so shy. We don't know much about them, but we do know that their population has declined 59% since 1995. So 1995 till the last time they were checked in 2010, their population had declined 59%. So what happened is they decided to, we've got to protect them. And this is where I think the positive part of the story is, because this shows us that there are solutions for other types of animals that are critically endangered, especially keystone species like gorillas. If we lose our gorillas, we lose our trees. And if we lose our trees, we lose our planet. Now, what they've done is people have recognized this, even though industry interest has gone in and decimated cross-river gorillas. The World Wildlife Fund, and along with a cooperation of Nigerian and Cameroon governments, they've created a conservation area around the border. And let's see, we got a little picture of it here to share with everybody. And not only do they create an area where they can live, and this is right in the basin, they have guards 24/7 so that they're safe. So it's possible for us to keep these animals safe in the wild. Now, I wanted to show you again, this is the cross river gorilla. This is the area where they live. And they are in a very important area, as you can see, between Nigeria and Cameroon. And then there's a little bit down there closer to the Congo, Brazzaville, Gabon. And a lot of this is areas that have a lot of rich mineral and other things that can be exploited for profit. And this is why we're losing so many of these guys. Now, an interesting aspect, I want to share something really funny about these cross-river gorillas, is they are almost as fast as Usain Bolt. And I'm not making that up. Usain Bolt was clocked at running 27.8 miles per hour on the racetrack, and that is insanely fast. But in the wild, the cross-river gorillas were clocked at doing 24.8 miles per hour. Not quite as fast. He could outrun them, or, but they couldn't outrun him, but just by the teeniest amount. So these little cross-river gorillas are about as fast as Usain Bolt. Interesting little fact to take away with them. Now, the other thing that's super cool about them, and scientists don't know much about them. They're so elusive, and now they're so in danger that nobody is allowed to go see them. There is no tourism for the cross-river gorilla. They put up camera traps and will allow them to come through. So one of the really cool things is they are one of the most, they have the most dexterous hands. They're known to use tools, from what I understand. And they've even been reported to have thrown sticks and mud and things like that at people. They get a little too close to them. So it's very, very interesting. There's only ever been one in captivity. And I don't want to say that they've been in captivity, because this gorilla was found injured, was taken to an amazing sanctuary in Limbe. Actually, friends of ours at the Limbe rescue, and this particular one lived there for a long time, was able to live out his life in a very natural feeling environment without standard constraints of captivity. So although it wasn't what had happened, what he had before, he was able to at least live. Now, when you think of this gorilla, and I just want to put him back up for a second, look at his face. And this is the one that was in Limbe. Just for a quick moment, we learned from the Coco Foundation that through sign language, that gorillas were able to explain what had happened to them in their past. One of them was able to recount poachers coming in and killing the family and watching all the family being slaughtered. So whatever happened to this poor baby here, that led to them needing to end up at a sanctuary to be protected by people, they carry the ghosts of those events in their eyes. And you can see it in their eyes right there. It's very, very sad disposition. So, it's another thing that we have to think about. The only solution forward, and there really is no great solutions as of yet. What do? We have so many gorillas in captivity, and we need them back into the wild. And this very innovative program to create an area that is guarded 24/7 for them is the way towards the future. So I'd be curious to see what everybody thinks about that. Can we save gorillas in the wild? Now, one other aspect that I really want to talk about with Cross River gorillas is, let's talk about zoos for a second. Just to bring this back to Harambe, now Harambe was a distant relative of the Cross River gorilla. He was a Western lowland gorilla. And what is fascinating here is the Western lowland gorilla has about 300,000 or so in their population. Now, this is the gorilla that all the zoos are breeding, keeping in captivity, saying they're so endangered and we need to save their species. This is what we hear a lot when we screen Harambe. If that is true and the zoo really feels that, why are they not putting any money or doing anything to save a Cross River gorilla? If they are some kind of a hope for the future of an animal, then why are they paying attention to the least endangered of the critically endangered? Now, not to say that the Western lowland is not endangered and to take that lightly, but 300,000 versus 200 is a big number difference. So to us, it's another example of how the zoos talk a game, but they don't really play it. Conservation to the zoo is having a place to recycle your cell phone, putting up a teeny bit of education, and throwing a little bit of money towards observation centers. Another question we would have is, and this is something that I would love to know from anybody that studies in the zoological world or the animal world, is do we need to continue to put millions of dollars into areas where scientists can go do research papers and watch gorillas, or have we learned enough right now to become innovative and for these scientists to become the leaders to create a new version of how we understand the gorillas? Now we have to apply that in a way that enables them and us to have a future, because our future depends on their future. And so, again, how is the zoo helping if they're just breeding a bunch of gorillas? They're not even putting them back in the wild, and they're breeding the types that are the most abundant in the wild. They've done nothing to help the Cross River gorilla. There are great NGOs out there to help the Cross River Gorilla Day. I encourage everybody on Cross River Gorilla Day today, think about these beautiful, beautiful creatures that we are inhabiting the world with, that we share 98% of our DNA with, that live our ideal, that, we all think we need to go live in nature and be out in nature. And that's like one of the greatest joys of humans' desire. So, at that point, we have to think about that. So anyway, the Cross River gorilla, a great example of what happens when we let extinction go too far. And where is that point? 300 is way too far to sound the alarm. They're starting to do it with the Western lowland gorillas at 350. That seems a lot more reasonable. Some people will say, well, that's not dangerous. Yeah, it is. And maybe we need to rethink the numbers, and we need to rethink what is extinction and how close we're going to allow our relatives, our animal relatives that live all around us, to go to extinction. As we've seen, we have seen extinctions coming through. We've seen them in our lifetime. We have seen the last of the rhino. We saw the last of one of the rhino groups die. We have seen the vaquita disappear. We've seen multiple other animals disappear that we need to learn more about. And there's the postal guy. Sup? There's Sierra. Hey, Sierra. They need to protect his sanctuary to have a chance. Is it too late at 300? Exactly. Should we have thought about this a long time ago? So, yes, what is our relationship to extinction, and are we too callous as a species? Do we need to stop, look, listen, learn, change, and grow? Because the way we're going, it's definitely not sustainable. So, Cross River Gorillas, a sad story, but at the same time, a hope spot, because the innovations that are going on to keep them safe, and also the way that they're being protected, about being kept from all people, even their locations are very secretive, special groups of rangers, special protections. Is this the way that nature needs to be in the future? How can we re-envision what we can offer them? Postal Guy says, did you know that the population of mountain gorillas has increased significantly over the years? I believe there is still faith for the Cross River gorillas. That's a wonderful. You know what? They have had wonderful numbers growing back. Unfortunately, the Western lowland gorillas, all the gorillas are still in the endangered aspect, but that's exactly it. There are new ways that we're looking at. A lot of the problems too will come from exploitation, um, through areas where the gorillas are worth more to people immediately dead than alive. Whether it's oil exploration, bushmeat, poaching. There's a lot of reasons that it happens there. So, how can we create new programs, new visions, and new ideas for the future so that we can see all of the animals bounce back the way that we need to? And I'm glad to hear that you've got faith for the Cross River gorilla. I do too. I think that they can make it back with proper care. And the beauty of some of these NGOs that are out there working to help them right now, I encourage everybody to go check it out, see what you can learn about Cross River gorillas, and if there are good organizations that are helping them out. And Sierra says they have a role in nature, and what's going to happen to the rest of the biosphere when they are all gone. New way to think about a missing link. Huh. That is a new way to think about the missing link. Every animal we lose part of our natural history and story. So let's send out some good vibes for the Cross River gorillas. Let's talk about them to our friends. Let's not let them go into obscurity and disappear silently until there's only a few left, as we have now, unfortunately. But yes, enjoy your Cross River Gorilla Day. Think about these amazing, interesting facts about these little gorillas. I would be amazing to be able to see some footage of them, and it's incredible that they want to stay in their own area. So I'm sure that they hopefully have an opportunity to remain in their area. And thank you to all the people that are working to keep them safe, and all the people that are working to keep the funding going to keep them safe, and all the people that are fighting for the future of the Cross River gorilla, which is the future of our planet. So thank you, everybody. It's great to see you today. Harambe is coming up May 28th. Don't forget, we need to be thinking about our closest living relatives, how we treat them, how we can treat them, and how we should treat them, and how can we change things around there. There we go. Real fast, we were going to finish up, but the Postal Guy is a great fact. 1981, the mountain gorilla population was 254. In 2024, there's about 1,600 left. So it is not too late, as many think. We can still make a difference, and absolutely, that is the exact part of it. There is, like I said, the Cross River gorillas are unfortunately a very sad story of us neglecting our duties to our environment around us, but they're also an inspirational story of how we can do this, how we can change. And one of the big things is we're all changing our minds, and we're having more discussions, and the more we can do that, the more we can help. So thanks for joining today. Thank you, Postal Guy. Thank you, Sierra. Thank you for everybody else. Please put your comments down at the bottom. Let us know what you think. Can the Cross River gorilla bounce back at approximately 300? Have we let it go too far? and how can we protect more species from hitting this kind of critical mass in the future. All right, everybody, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget, Harambe Day, May 28th, let's keep thinking about our closest living relatives and how we can help them.